Hello there, Drew Hanish of Whiskey Lore, and it's time for another one of our tasting videos. Today we are going to Speyside, Scotland. I'll pull the map out and show you that Speyside is actually listed here as this green area. That's not right. Speyside actually follows the Spey River, and not every single distillery that follows or is near the Spey River calls itself Speyside whiskey. Macallan's one. Glendronach's kind of away from the distillery there, but you know what's funny is that you're looking and you see like Glenglassaugh, which we talked about, and I think they show Glendronach as being in Speyside. No, Speyside goes like Elgin south, and so in fact, they even have the Speyside Distillery marked here. That it's on the River Spey, but they don't call it Speyside. Somebody needs to look at that map. We'll take the shape of the map, but region's a little messed up. Anyway, the whiskey that we're going to talk about today is Aberlour, and I think the point that I was getting at was that on that Spey River, it's actually right between where Macallan is and Craigellachie north, and then as you come down the Spey River, Glenfarclas. So right in between, and Aberlour is a great town to stay in if you want to use a place as a jumping off point for all of Speyside's distilleries, because it's centrally located. There's some really good food there. The Mash Tun pub and bed and breakfast is there. Just a lot of cool stuff in that location. And you can walk to the Aberlour Distillery. In fact, you can walk across the bridge that their founder built and walk over to Macallan. I don't know whether he really intended on that to be the use for that bridge, but that is something that you could do, because I have done it, and actually it's kind of fun. So as long as it doesn't rain on you, you'll see plenty of sheep along the way. So AH-boone-UH is kind of an anomaly in terms of Scotch whiskey. You're now starting to see a lot more cask strengths come out, but this was really my first introduction to drinking cask strength whiskey from a bottle. And AH-boone-UH, the name, you can see, very odd spelling there, actually means the origin. And the way this whiskey came about is some distillery workers were putting in a couple of new stills, and while they were pulling the old ones out, they found a time capsule. Now, I've heard of time capsules, but I sort of thought that's kind of a recent thing, that like maybe in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we started really paying attention to putting things into a time capsule and burying them for future generations to find. But in this particular case, in 1898, which the distillery was founded in 1879, somebody had the forethought to put a bottle of Aberlour whiskey into a time capsule so that someone would discover it somewhere down the road. And so they tasted it, and this is in honor of that bottle. This is, again, cask strength, which at that time, cask strength was much more prevalent in Scotch whiskey. In fact, there was a problem with drunkenness during the teetotaling era. This is teetotal time as well, that there was a cry to do something about this. So in America, we went to Prohibition in 1920, and some states went earlier. In Scotland, they lowered the ABV on Scotch whiskey to 37%. Yes, 37%. So for all you people that are like 40 is so weak, imagine 37, because that's where whiskey went to. Obviously, that was not very good for people, and so they raised it 2 years later to 40%. But yeah, for a while there, whiskey was sold basically at cask strength. Blenders probably added a little water if they felt like they needed to add it or whatever. Wasn't really selling single malts back then, so it was going to be whatever they were just selling at that particular time. It could have been straight whiskey, or it could have been a blend. Who knows? So it'd be interesting to know what that original bottle was from Aberlour, because I'm guessing that they probably put something straight off the still into that bottle. And so wouldn't that be fascinating to taste? Well, this one we do get to taste. And from what I understand, this can be a little different from batch to batch. They put the batch number on there, so you know. So if my tasting notes don't necessarily match up with yours, then, that's not unusual, because when we're talking about cask strength whiskey, it doesn't sound like we're blending barrels together here or marrying barrels together. We're just basically taking what we're getting from the cask. Now, at that at that higher ABV, yes, there will be some alcohol fumes coming at your nose. So don't, take in a big deep breath. You get a lot of stone fruits, raisins. This is aged in Oloroso sherry casks. If you've had Aberlour 12, these are not the same. This is probably a component of Aberlour 12, but that is a double cask matured, and so they use sherry casks as well as American bourbon casks, which gives off a whole different kind of set of flavors. And so, yeah, don't think of this as just a strong Aberlour 12, because it's not the same. Tasting those very different. Yeah. And strength very different. Some people put a dollop of water in there. I say try this one on its own before you do that. Now, you get a lot of the barrel in this. I do smell a lot of that sherry barrel coming through on the nose. This is often referred to as a sherry bomb, so cheers. What I love about this whiskey is cask strength. And it warms up, but it's not harsh on the palate. And it gives so many of those dark flavors, the dark fruit flavors, the raisin, the plum. But it comes through with this cinnamon red hot, and it's like putting a fireball in your mouth. It just has that heat to it. But like I say, with a fireball, if you've had one, you'll see people when they're sucking on one, they'll pull it out every once in a while because it just becomes a little too intense. For some that are not initiated in the club of cask strength drinkers, you may have to do that. You may have to tamp this one down a little bit. But I say just take smaller sips, actually, and you don't have to get a whole big honking mouthful of this one. And it's going to do what you want it to do. It's got, again, a lot of those things we associate with Oloroso sherry. You get that raisin, a lot of the dark fruits, along with that cinnamon. And it's not got any real bitter tannins, which is nice because sometimes you get that with European oak. I think the thing I love the most is the finish, because I am a huge fan of orange marmalade, and this sucker goes to like a slightly burnt toast with orange marmalade on it. It is excellent. That I really, really do like about this whiskey. Very nice. If you're into sherried whiskeys and you're ready to pump it up about 3 notches in terms of intensity, this is the way you go. I've had the Glendronach Batch 8 cask strength. Gotta tell you, I was a little disappointed in that one. Maybe I was thinking it was going to be as good as this. and it just kind of fell short. But this one hits all the marks for me. Really, really nice whiskey, and excellent. If you want to go cask strength, you want sherry, this is definitely the one I would recommend. By the way, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Until next time, cheers and Slainte.